Have you ever looked at your grandkids and thought, wow, when did they grow up so fast? One minute they're running around in superhero capes, asking for snacks and story time. The next, they're taller than you, glued to their phones, and barely grunt a hi when they walk in the door. It's not that they don't love you, they do. But teens today live in a world that's moving a mile a minute, and let's be honest, it can feel a little tough to keep up. If you ever felt like you're on the outside looking in, wondering how to stay close, how to be a part of their lives without feeling like you're intruding, you're not alone. And let me tell you this, the fact that you care, that you're even asking the question, means you're already doing something right. In today's video, we're going to talk about something really close to heart, how to build meaningful, lasting connections with your grandkids, even if they're busy, distracted, or deep in the teenage zone. These aren't just quick tips or tricks. These are heartfelt ways to bridge the gap between generations and plant seeds of love and connection that will grow for years to come. Let's begin with something that might surprise you, learning their world instead of trying to pull them into yours. See, a lot of us were raised in a time where respect was about following rules, staying quiet at the dinner table, and spending time with family, because that's just what you did. But today's teens, they're growing up in a completely different culture. Their attention is divided between school, friends, sports, video games, and yes, those phones that seem permanently attached to their hands. Instead of fighting against it, what if we stepped into it, just a little? I'm not saying you have to start texting with emojis or creating TikToks, but asking them to show you their favorite app, favorite song, or even a funny meme. They light up when they get to teach you something for a change. You become more than just grandma or grandpa. You become a safe, curious space where they're seen for who they are right now, not who they used to be when they were little. I remember talking to a woman named Susan, 72 years old, who said her grandson barely said a word during visits. One day, she simply asked, "Hey, what's that game you always play?" He looked surprised, but showed her how to play it. They ended up laughing together over a silly spaceship game. No deep talk, no life lessons, just a shared moment. And from then on, he started opening up more. Sometimes connection starts in the smallest, most unexpected places. Now let's talk about something equally powerful. Sharing your stories, not your advice. Teens are smart. They can smell a lecture from a mile away. But stories? Stories are different. When you tell them about the time you got in trouble for sneaking out, or how nervous you were on your first date, or what it felt like to leave home for first time, those stories stick. They don't feel like lessons, even though they carry wisdom. What's even more beautiful is that your stories remind them that you were once just like them, young, uncertain, full of dreams and doubts. It helps them see you not just as grandma who always bakes, or grandpa who watches the news, but as a real person who's lived a full life, made mistakes, fallen in love, and learned along the way. And sometimes, sharing a story leads to hearing one of theirs. Maybe not right away. Maybe not the first or second time. But eventually, when they feel safe, they start opening that door. And once that door is open, even just a crack, there's a whole world waiting on the other side. Another meaningful way to build connection is by creating little rituals that belong just to the two of you. It doesn't have to be fancy. Maybe it's sending a silly selfie every Friday. Maybe it's mailing them a postcard from your town each month with a joke or an inspiring quote. Maybe it's watching the same show and texting back and forth during commercials. It's the consistency, the "this is just our thing" feeling that builds a sense of closeness, even from a distance. One grandfather told me he sends his grandkids a riddle every Monday morning. That's it, just a little brain teaser in a text. At first, they ignored it, but a few weeks in, they started texting back guesses, then jokes, then real conversation. That small thread turned into a real connection. Never underestimate the power of something small and steady. You see, connection doesn't have to be about grand gestures or deep conversations all the time. It's about showing up again and again in quiet, meaningful ways. It's about being a steady light in their busy, sometimes overwhelming world. And you don't have to change who you are to do this. You're not trying to be cool or become their best friend. You're offering them something even better. Unconditional love, steady presence, and a window into a life that's rich with experience and warmth. Now that we've talked about being curious about their world, sharing your stories, and creating little traditions, let's keep going. Because there are more ways to connect. Some that might surprise you, and some that just need a little courage to try. Let's continue on this journey of finding ways to truly connect with your grandkids. So far, we've talked about being curious about their world, sharing your stories, and creating little traditions. Now, let's dive into a few more ways to bridge that generational gap and make sure you stay an important part of their lives, no matter how busy they get. One of the most impactful things you can do is encourage their passions. We all know that teens can be a little, let's just say, absorbed in their own activities. But here's the thing. When you show a genuine interest in something they're passionate about, whether it's their favorite hobby, sport, or creative endeavor, you create a space where they feel seen and heard. And it's not about pushing them to talk about it. It's about being open to listening when they do. Think about it. What was your passion when you were young? Maybe it was painting, playing a musical instrument, or maybe you spent hours reading or writing. And imagine if someone you love took the time to ask you about that, to sit with you and genuinely listen. It would have made you feel special, right? That's what happens when you ask them to share about their interests, even if they're things you don't fully understand. For example, maybe your grandchild is obsessed with a certain video game or spends all their free time perfecting dance moves for TikTok. You don't need to become an expert in those things, but you can ask questions. How do you do that move? Or what's your favorite part of the game? Sometimes those small, simple questions open the door to deeper conversations. And remember, this isn't about offering advice or trying to change anything. It's just about being interested in what they are passionate about. By showing interest in their hobbies or skills, you give them a space to express themselves and a reason to want to spend time with you. And don't forget, teens love sharing their knowledge. You might even find that you're learning something new along the way. Another meaningful way to connect is by offering help in a way that empowers them. I know it can be tempting to jump in and fix things for your grandkids, whether it's helping with school projects, offering advice about relationships, or making sure they've eaten properly. But sometimes the best way to connect isn't by offering a solution, but by giving them the chance to find their own. For example, instead of offering immediate advice when they vent about something that's bothering them, try this. Ask them what they think they should do. Give them the space to come to their own conclusions. And when they do ask for help, offer in a way that makes them feel capable and supported, not like they're being rescued. Empowering your grandkids to solve their own problems helps them develop confidence, and it shows that you trust them to make their own decisions. But this can go beyond advice. It could be as simple as offering to help them organize something they've been putting off, like their room or a school project. You don't need to do the work for them. Just offer a helping hand or ask, "Is there anything I could do to help you get started?" It shows them that you're available without being overbearing. And the best part? You're teaching them to ask for help when they need it, and that's a valuable skill that will last a lifetime. Next, let's talk about something that can be a real game changer when it comes to connecting with teens. Respecting their boundaries. I know it can be tough, especially when you've been used to having open and constant communication. But teens are learning who they are, testing limits, and navigating their independence. And part of that is having personal space, both physically and emotionally. You might find that your grandkids don't want to hang out as often or seem a little more distant. It's not personal. It's just part of growing up. And the best thing you can do during this time is to respect their space and give them room to breathe. If they need alone time, that's okay. If they're busy with friends or school, and don't respond to your texts right away. Don't take it to heart. What's more important is showing them that you understand and respect their independence. That way, when they're ready to open up or spend time with you, you're there without any pressure. It's like planting a tree. You can't force it to grow faster. But if you nurture it and let it grow at its own pace, eventually, it will reach the height you've been hoping for. One way to demonstrate respect for their boundaries is by asking how they want to communicate. Maybe they prefer texting to phone calls, or maybe they like sending quick video messages rather than sitting down for a long chat. It's important to meet them where they are, instead of sticking to what feels most comfortable for you. So ask them, what's the best way to get in touch with you? Is it okay if I send you a text just to check in? By asking for their preferences, you show them that their time and space are valuable. Finally, let's talk about finding new ways to create shared experiences. It doesn't always have to be about sitting down for long talks or big family gatherings. Sometimes it's the quiet, simple moments that create the strongest bonds. Maybe you go for a walk together, listen to their favorite music, or help them with a DIY project. The key here is that you're not just talking at them. You're actively engaging in something that brings you together in a shared experience. Remember, it's not about how much time you spend with your grandkids, but how meaningful that time is. You might not have hours and hours to spare, but even small moments, whether to share activity or a simple gesture, can go a long way in building a connection that lasts. And the more often you share those little moments, the more natural and easy it becomes to keep the connection alive, no matter how busy they get. Now that we've talked about encouraging their passions, empowering them to solve problems, respecting their boundaries, and finding shared experiences, we're almost at the end of our conversation. But we have one more key way to stay close, no matter how much time passes. We've covered some great strategies already, like respecting their boundaries, empowering them, and making sure to meet them where they are. But there's one more incredibly powerful way to stay connected with your grandkids, and it's something that goes hand in hand with everything we've discussed so far. That final key is creating moments that feel truly personal and unique to them. When it comes to connecting with your grandkids, the best way to ensure you're building a lasting bond is to create experiences that reflect who they are, not just who you are. This isn't about grand gestures or spending a lot of money. It's about giving them memories that feel special and personal. It could be as simple as writing them a letter or sending them a postcard when you're out of town. Or it could be something as thoughtful as learning a little bit about something they love and surprising them with it. For example, if your grandkid loves a particular band, you could surprise them with a playlist of the band's latest songs that you've put together. Or if they have a favorite TV show, maybe you watch a few episodes so you can ask them about it the next time you talk. It's all about showing them that you're paying attention to their world and caring enough to engage with it. Little touches like this let them know you're thinking of them and that you truly value the person they are right now, not just the kid they once were. Another idea for creating these personal moments is sharing your traditions, but letting them take the lead on how they look today. Maybe you used to have a special holiday tradition when you were their age, like baking cookies with your family. It's easy to assume that your grandkids will love the same thing you did, but as they get older, their tastes may have shifted. Instead of insisting they continue the same old tradition, try asking them how they would like to make it their own. For example, I used to love baking cookies during the holidays. Would you want to help me come up with a new tradition? Maybe one you'd really enjoy. This gives them the chance to be part of the tradition, but also puts their mark on it. It helps them feel valued and involved in creating something new that's still tied to your family's history, but also speaks to their preferences. Maybe your holiday tradition turns into something totally different, like decorating a tree together in a new style, or taking a fun family outing instead. The important thing is that they feel like active participants in your life and your traditions. And remember, this doesn't always need to happen in person. If distance is a challenge, you can still create those moments. Let's say they're really into gaming, or they've started making YouTube videos themselves. You can spend some time learning how to play the games they enjoy, and then, instead of just sending them a message, you send them a quick video of you trying out a game they love. Imagine the look on their face when they see you taking that extra step to connect with them in their world. It's those small but meaningful moments that really create lasting bonds. The last way I want to highlight for connecting with your grandkids is being there when they need you. Now, this might sound simple, but it's more than just being available physically. It's about being emotionally available, too. Teens, while they might not show it, are going through a lot. They have pressures from school, friends, social media, and sometimes even from their own expectations. While they may not always express it, having a grandparent they can turn to when things get tough can be incredibly valuable. Being there for them means being a safe space, a place where they don't feel judged or pressured. Maybe you're not always able to give them advice, but just listening, offering comfort, or even sharing a few words of encouragement can make a huge difference. Don't feel like you need to solve everything for them. Just knowing that you're a steady, dependable presence can be a source of great strength. It's also important to respect the ebb and flow of their lives. Teens are busy. It's easy to feel like you're being pushed out or forgotten, but the truth is they're growing and changing so quickly. Their attention is being pulled in so many directions, and they might not always have time for you. But don't take it personally. Just because they're busy doesn't mean they don't love you or care about you. It just means that they're going through the natural process of finding their independence. So, instead of feeling sad when they don't seem to have time to call, understand that they're navigating their own world. When they do have time, though, be there for them and be present. Those moments, when they reach out, will feel even more meaningful because you've respected their space in the meantime. To wrap up, I want to remind you that staying connected with your grandkids doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, the simpler and more genuine your efforts are, the more meaningful they will be, whether it's encouraging their passions, respecting their boundaries, sharing personal experiences, or being there when they need you. Every little gesture matters. And remember, teens may act like they don't want your advice or your attention, but deep down they need it. They need to know that you see them for who they truly are, and they need to feel like they can turn to you when they need support. By creating meaningful connections now, you'll be ensuring that your relationship lasts well into the future. So, take a deep breath, stay patient, and know that every little effort you make is worth it. Your grandkids may be busy now, but the bond you build today will last a lifetime. They'll remember the moments you shared, the effort you put in, and the love you showed. Thanks so much for watching. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you tried any of these ways to connect with your grandkids? Drop a comment below, and let's keep the conversation going. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more tips on how to strengthen the bonds with your family. Here's to continuing to build those meaningful relationships, no matter what age.